How's it going, everyone? Chris here, and welcome back to another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Countdown video. We only have 56 days left until the game's release on December 7th, and today we'll be talking about two supposed leaks. As always, and I cannot stress this enough, we have no idea if these leaks are true or not, so make sure you take them both with a grain of salt and realize that I'm talking about them just for fun. If you'd like to read along while I talk, you can find a link to one of these supposed leaks in the description bar down below. And now, before we get started, I have one thing I need to tell you guys. So like I said, at the beginning of every video from now on, I will be telling you guys where the leaks come from and what they are. So the first leak that we're going to be taking a look at today actually comes from 4chan, and it is a text leak. The other leak we're going to take a look at today comes from one of my members on my Discord server, and they said it originally came from 4chan, but now the post has been deleted, so we copied it and pasted it. So we're going to take a look at that. So if you guys want to leave the video, you can do so now. And now, with all that out of the way, let's actually jump right into the first leak. So the first leak that we're going to take a look at today is titled Smash Leak, and it is posted by Anonymous. It starts by saying, I have some info on Smash Ultimate and I want to share it with you guys. If you guys don't believe me, tomorrow's blog update will be a fighter video about Greninja. Keep in mind this was posted yesterday, October 11th, 2018. Alright, here's everything I know. New fighters, a Square Enix rep, Karate Joe, Steve, and Incineroar. In terms of the Echo Fighters, we have Dixie Kong, Shadow, Ken, and Dark Meta Knight. After that, we move on to the stages. I assume the Square Enix rep will have a stage, but I'm not sure who the character is and what stages they have. So in terms of the new stages, we have Overworld from Minecraft, Aether Paradise from Pokemon, Pokefloats from Pokemon, Pac-Maze from Pac-Man, and then we move on to DLC. They were already planning to do DLC for this game, and they will support it for a very long time. I only know a few of the DLC fighters, as my sources haven't told me everything about it since they're still choosing for possible DLC characters, going all the way from 2019 and beyond. Currently, the DLC fighters being planned are Bandana Waddle Dee, Banjo and Kazooie, a second Square Enix rep, and Dante. Dante was planned for the base game, but is going to be added as DLC due to time constraints. He is one of the first DLC characters to be released. By the way, before I go, Skull Kid is a boss in Spirits, Shantae is an assist trophy, Black Knight is a boss in Spirits, and Isaac is back as an assist trophy. So now that we've gone over this entire leak, let's talk about it a little bit. So the first thing that I went and checked after I read this post was whether or not Greninja was actually updated on the Smash Ultimate Facebook page or website, and what do you know, the character that was featured was Greninja. Now, at first, I was extremely skeptical because, as you guys know, the other day we had the same sort of thing where Wii Fit Trainer was released because it was a Japanese National Fitness Day or something like that, and I decided to take a deeper look into it. Well, it turns out, on October 12th, 2013, Pokemon X and Y were released for the 3DS, and that is where Greninja made his debut. So overall, I believe that this guy probably doesn't have any credibility, but just made an educated guess because he knew that Pokemon X and Y was released about 5 years ago on this day. Even with all of that information, let's keep talking about the characters and stuff like that. So right away, the new fighters are going to be a Square Enix rep, which is most likely either going to be Zeno or probably like Sora or Lara Croft. Those are the three that I'm betting are going to be the Square Enix rep, but I'm not really sure. If I had to guess in the order, it'd probably be Zeno, followed by Sora, and then finally Lara Croft, if they did decide to put 3 in, but hey, I'm not really sure. After that, we have Karate Joe, and this is an interesting one because Karate Joe really isn't on a lot of different leaks. As we know, with the Jamatsu leak that came out during the Smash 4 days, the Chorus Kids were actually the characters that were leaked way back when, so it's kind of surprising to see him on the list. However, I have found out that Karate Joe is like the main character of the Rhythm Heaven series, so I could totally see him making it in. Especially since Karate Joe's a fighter, he has karate in his name, so it makes sense. After that, we have Steve, and once again, Steve is one of those characters where he's kind of like 50-50. Vergaben and this other credible leaker have leaked that we are going to get some kind of Minecraft representation, and the other leaker actually said that Steve was going to be a playable character, so I'm not really sure at this point. We're just going to have to wait and see. And then finally, we have Incineroar, and like I've said many times before, I believe that he is going to be our Gen 7 Pokemon rep. He's a wrestler, so he'd fit in really well. He is one of the most competitively used Pokemon at the moment, and people in Japan love Incineroar. Also, Ash is about to get an Incineroar, so it just makes way too much sense. So then we're going to move on to the Echo Fighters, and we've already talked about Shadow and Ken a bunch, so we're not going to talk about them. However, Dixie Kong is extremely interesting. So for those of you guys who don't know, Dixie Kong was extremely prevalent as a potential Echo Fighter before King K. Rool was revealed, because a lot of people thought that she was going to be revealed alongside him. However, like we know with Dark Samus and Ridley, Echo Fighters and villains don't have to be revealed at the same time. Dark Samus was revealed the direct after, so it's possible that Dixie Kong is going to get announced as an Echo Fighter in the next direct. However, I really hope that she isn't an Echo Fighter just because she's so much more unique than Diddy Kong, and honestly, I think that she deserves to be her own fighter. She's very prominent in the Donkey Kong series, and honestly, I think she's more well known than King K. Rool, but if she does make it in as an Echo Fighter, I guess that's okay. And then we have Dark Meta Knight, and honestly, I know a lot of people at the beginning were thinking that he was going to be an Echo Fighter, but then it kind of moved between Dark Meta Knight and Galactonite for the Echo Fighter of Meta Knight. Personally, I'm not sure if Kirby is going to get an Echo Fighter as of now, just because I feel like they would put Bandana Waddle Dee or Markson before them, but like we know, Sakurai said that Echo Fighters are much easier to develop, so I guess it would be possible for us to get Dark Meta Knight. Next up, we're going to move on to the DLC, and apparently they already have some DLC fighters currently planned. So first up, they have Bandana Waddle Dee, which is obvious. I think that if he doesn't make it onto the base roster, that he is definitely going to make it in, just because, like I've said, he is Kirby's permanent player 4 at this point. Next up, we have Banjo and Kazooie, and I'm honestly a little surprised they didn't make it in on the base roster. Apparently they did extremely well on the Smash ballot, at least during the fan-made Smash ballots, so I could totally see them making it in on the base roster, but it might have taken a little bit of time to get the rights to them, so I could totally see them making it in as DLC. Next up, we're getting a second Square Enix rep, and honestly, it's going to be between Sora and Lara Croft if we end up getting Geno on the base roster. And honestly, at this point, I think that Sora's going to get in over her, just because he looks a little bit more cartoony, and I think he'd fit better in with the Smash cast. And then finally, we have Dante from Devil May Cry, and honestly, I don't know a lot about him, but he sounds really cool. We have seen a couple of leaks before talking about Dante making it into the game, and if he did, I think that that would make a lot of people really happy. And we know that characters from R-rated games can make it in. We have Bayonetta and Snake and all those, so honestly, I could totally see Dante making it in. And then at the end, this leaker deconfirms a couple of characters. So first of all, he says that Skull Kid is going to be a boss in Spirits. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding this. A lot of people think he's going to be playable, while a lot of people think he's going to be a boss. But honestly, at this point, I'm really not sure which way to go. So next up, we have Shantae as an assist trophy, and I think that this is also going to happen. I know that a lot of people really want Shantae to be a playable character, but Shovel Knight was just so much more prominent on the Smash ballot, and there was such a higher outcry for him, that I feel like just like Shovel Knight, she's going to get the assist trophy treatment. Then we have Black Knight as a boss in Spirits mode, and the more I think about it, the more I think that this is going to end up being true. So, as we know, the Black Knight is not present in the back of the castle siege stage, which made a lot of people, including myself, believe that he was going to be an Echo Fighter. But at this point, we already have so many Fire Emblem characters, and I believe we have 3 Fire Emblem Echo Fighters, that at this point, what's the point of putting even more in? And then finally, we have Isaac back as an assist trophy, and I know that makes a lot of people upset, but I've talked about this before. There's a lot of people who think that Isaac should stay as an assist trophy, and there's a lot of people who really want him as playable, so we're just going to have to wait and see what Sakurai does with that, because I have no idea. So now that we've gone over this entire leak, do I believe that it's real? Honestly, probably not, just because I told you guys that Pokemon X and Y was released 5 years ago on this day, and since that was the game Greninja debuted in, it does make a lot of sense that this is the day they did his flashback memory or something like that. So now let's move on to the next leak. So the next leak was sent in to me by somebody on my Discord, and they asked to keep their name anonymous, so let's just start by reading it. It starts by saying, "Hey Chris, I'm afraid I don't have the original link to the thread on 4chan, but I copied it to send it here. I found it interesting, so that's why I'm DMing you to review it. Hello there, I am here today to share the info that I have on the current Smash Ultimate roster. Introduction out of the way, let's get to it. The characters that have yet to be announced are Geno, Incineroar, Elma from Xenoblade Chronicles X, Ken from Street Fighter, Black Shadow from F-Zero as an Echo Fighter, Shadow the Hedgehog as an Echo Fighter for Sonic. The remaining 5 stages are Forest Maze, Rainbow Road, Pokemon League from Sun and Moon, Pokefloats 2, and New Los Angeles from Xenoblade Chronicles X. I have some information on the secret mode. Yes, it is called Spirits. This mode has you travel through the worlds of all the fighters in the game. It works as a hybrid of Subspace and Melee Adventure mode. Defeating the boss of the world will result in unlocking the heroes of the world. Completing the entire story will result in unlocking Boss Rush and the villains. I will leave you with 2 of the bosses that will make an appearance in Spirits. First of all, we have Skull Kid. Skull Kid has 2 stages during this battle. You will fight him as normal Skull Kid, and once he is defeated, he will unleash Majora's Wrath. Next up, we have Dry Bowser. Like Skull Kid, this boss battle also has 2 stages. It works the same as his boss fight in New Super Mario Bros. 2, and after defeating him, he will fall into lava, and then, like always, Kamek will appear. Dry Bowser will emerge from the lava, and the second stage of the battle will happen. I have no information on DLC except for the fact that Bandana Waddle Dee, Banjo-Kazooie, and the Retro Rep will be a part of the first wave of DLC. I decided to save this information until the very end. There will be a Smash Direct going over the rest of the roster and Spirits. I do not know a specific date, but I do know that it will happen during the next 2 weeks. The Direct will also announce that a global test fire under the name Test Smash will be available a week after the bundle is released. So now that we've gone over this entire leak, let's talk about it. So first of all, in terms of the characters, the first character I want to talk about was Elma from Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now, a lot of people think that we are going to get another Xenoblade representative, but a lot of them think it's going to be the duo of Rex and Pyra. However, Rex and Pyra at this point are just too new. If we do get Rex and Pyra, I believe that we're going to get them as DLC, but for now, I think that Elma would make a great character. She's been around long enough, and she is popular enough that I think she'd make a really cool character, and she has a lot of unique and really cool moves, which I think would make her extremely awesome in battle. After that, we have Black Shadow as an Echo Fighter of Captain Falcon from F-Zero, and right away my first reaction is, please happen, I really want this to happen. I want this to happen just because, as you guys know, Ganondorf is starting to move away from Captain Falcon. I believe that Black Shadow is kind of going to take old Ganondorf's place, and he's going to work similar to how old Ganondorf worked. Now that Ganondorf is using his sword, we need someone to use his old moveset, and I think that Black Shadow would be perfect for that, because not only would we get old Ganondorf's moveset back, we would also get another F-Zero representative. So then we move on to Spirits mode, and it honestly sounds really cool. Apparently it's a Brawl and Melee subspace hybrid, and that sounds extremely awesome. You travel through the different worlds of each of the characters, which sounds cool because it'd be cool to play as Mario going through Hyrule, Kirby going through the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, it just sounds awesome to me. And then we have bosses, and the 2 bosses that we know of are Skull Kid and Dry Bowser. Apparently they're going to be in phases, which I also think sounds pretty cool. I don't know, it just sounds a little bit strange to me because I'm really not sure how Spirits mode is going to work. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see at this point. And then after that, apparently he has no information on DLC except for the fact that Bandana Waddle Dee, Banjo-Kazooie, and the Retro Rep will be a part of the first wave. So apparently the DLC is going to come in waves, which sounds really good in theory because it seems like they're just going to keep making the ultimate Smash game more and more ultimate. I don't know, that's personally my own feeling, but the more I read this leak, the more I think that it's not real. So I think we're just going to stop talking about it there just because I'm getting the feeling that this leak isn't real at all. But I want to hear what you guys have to think about it in the comment section down below. Do you guys believe either of these leaks are real, and would you be happy if they were? Why or why not? Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, share, and like, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.